We're back in Mojacar. Planned a short trip, only here for 10 days, but thought we would stay in the Parador here in Mojacar. Keep momentum up of trying to visit Paradors. For those of you who this may be the first video, what we've decided to do is try and visit all 98 Paradors in Spain. Paradors are the government owned and run hotels. Hopefully within a reasonable time frame, 3 to 5 years, depending on what we can achieve, finances, etc. As we're in Mojacar, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you the Mojacar we know and love, and a little bit of history of our time here, our relationship with Mojacar. We first visited in 1987 for our honeymoon, so that's 38 years ago, and have been back pretty much every year since then. We're lucky enough in 2019 to have bought a small house and renovated it, or reformed it as they call it here, and finally we're able to move in 2022. Going to start today with heading out to the Mecenas and go down to the Playa Sombrerico, which is one of our favourite beaches. That beach is also known as Treasure Island Beach locally, as it's where they filmed, I think it was 1972 or 73, filmed Treasure Island with Orson Welles. If you haven't seen it, it's worth having a look on YouTube and seeing the clips which are filmed down here. Where the Chiringuito Macaná is now is the foundation from the fort they built as a prop for the film. So we're going to go down a dirt track in a minute. It's about 3 kilometres off the main paved road down to the beach. You might see behind me the fairly new development of Mecenas, which is apartments. They're building a new hotel we just passed, and there's the remnants of the first hotel they started to build, which never got finished back in the, I think it was 2007, 2008 crash, whenever it was. That's also been used in as a set. We noticed it whilst watching the BBC drama Gold, and it's used to represent the condos or apartments which Palmer built in Tenerife. So we're off-road now, just going to go past the Castillo de Mecenas. So we've got about 3 kilometres of this track to do. You might just be able to make out a track up the side of this hill here to our to the right. We often walk up there. There's a couple of lookout points up there. Great views. Got the Torre de Perulico in front of us, one of the old watchtowers. It's been restored over the last however many years. My understanding is there's a series of these all the way down the coast. You'd always be able to see one tower from the next one, so any invading forces will be spotted. They'd light a fire to alert the whole coast of the imminent invasion. Absolutely no idea whether the castle or the tower ever saw any fighting. And we'll go and have a look at that on our way back from the beach, but we'll just head down to the beach to start with. My understanding, the Playa Sombrerico is both of these coves. You've got this first cove behind me. I'm having to be discreet because it's the nudist beach, so try not to film anybody. Don't think we'll be going there, no one wants to see that. And then the next cove is the other part of the playa, which is the one I understand to be named Treasure Island Beach. Let's head down there. Treasure Island Beach. We first came down here on our first trip to Mojacar actually in 1987. We had a barbecue on the beach with some friends, so I have some fond memories. Truth is we don't come down here to use the beach much anymore. We often walk down here. There's a great walk just behind the beach bar at the end, Chiringuito Macana, which walks up, you sort of scramble up the hill and joins a path from Sao Palmo down the Rambla down to the Castillo de Macenas. So we often park the car at the castle, walk down here, walk up the hill, back down the track, and it's about a 9-kilometre round trip. So bit of a scramble going up the hill, but we can just about still manage that. And the beach bar is just around the corner here, the Chiringuito Macana. So apparently the foundations of the beach bar were the fort they built for the film Treasure Island. So I had a look on YouTube, I did my homework. You can see it on there, and it's worth watching actually. If you put into YouTube Treasure Island, Orson Welles, you'll find it. And there's clips on there of this beach and the fort, and you'll recognise all the landmarks if you watch it. Just thought we'd quickly just go through to the next cove, just have a quick look at that. I realised when editing that I hadn't actually shown much of the beaches, so I've climbed up to the lookout points, and you can see both coves from up here. So I just did a quick film of those. We'll just pull up in a minute and go and walk up and have a look round. Got a feeling someone's coming the other way. Oh no, they're parked up. All good. So it says here it was built in the Nasrid period, 12th to 13th century. Amazing. Let's go take a look. These handrails are only just recently been renovated this year. They've got in a bit of a state of disrepair, but looking good now. I haven't been right to the top in a while actually. We've come up to this level, but to go up the last flight of steps is something I haven't done in a fair few years, and I probably won't do it today. It's great looking back over Mojacar Playa from here. A bit cloudy today, but still beautiful. This is a great spot. From here you can see the next watchtower, which is just before Carbonadas, and then in the distance you've got the next castle on the Mesa del Roldan, which has also got a lighthouse up there. Worth a trip up there if you haven't been up. You can drive all the way to the top Great look out, you can look down on Agua Amarga and further down the coast to Cabo de Gata, so well worth a trip out there if you haven't been before. I just wanted to show you one of my favourite views of the tower, and then we look back through this arch in the rock. So even if you're only visiting for a week, it's well worth a trip out here. It gives a different side to Mojacar. So from here, from this beach to the hotel you can see at the end there, the Hotel Indalo, just the end of the beach beyond the castle here is a walkway which follows the coast. You can just see the coastline between the castle and the hotel. That's a nice easy walk. It's about 20 minutes from one side to the other, and it's called the Miners Trail, or I think it's Route de la Mina. Again, if it's something you've never done, definitely worth doing. The hotel is well presented and looks very smart as you drive up towards it. You arrive through this fairly impressive entrance. There is plenty of parking, part naturally shaded by trees with some covered areas. After checking in, we go through this large lounge area to find our room. These corridors or walkways are impressive, bright and airy with these large pots with plants. They even have name tags telling you the name of the plants. They are cleverly designed, being partly open at the top, allowing lots of natural light to flood in and heat to escape. They're also netted at the top to stop birds from entering. We'll have a look at the top of these when we go outside. The room was simply decorated and furnished, clean and bright, and how I imagine a traditional Mediterranean villa would be. I think all Paradors now have this new TV system. It allows you to connect your phone to the TV. This allows you to stream television programs or movies. I like this traditional brass keyring. Only negative is fitting it into your pocket. The bathroom is very clean. The fittings may be regarded as a bit old-fashioned now, but it's all in immaculate condition, so no complaints. There's soap, shampoo, hand cream, a hairdryer and makeup mirror. There's a couple of extra pillows if you need them, a safe and a minibar with some beer and soft drinks. Also, you get a few complimentary bottles of water. You can then go out onto your own balcony, which has a couple of chairs and a table. Also a towel rack, which is useful for swimsuits and beach towels. Well, we just checked in, had a wander around, now sitting down for a beer. Forgotten actually how nice this hotel is. It's all seems very clean and tranquil. The original hotel here was built in 1966, which I'm surprised that was that early actually, because that would have been very early days of Mojacar's starting to be a tourist destination. Then it's been expanded in the 80s and then a complete refurbishment in 2008 to what we have today. Great position here, right next to the sea. I guess the only negative would be you do have the road between here and the beach, which on the whole this time of year isn't too busy, but in the summer, or July, August, it's quite busy. One thing to say is if you do start staying at Parador hotels, make sure you do join their Amigos Club, their sort of frequent traveller club. We've only joined 12 months ago and we've stayed in 4 hotels, and that gave us enough points to have this room tonight for nothing, which is pretty good. So if you can get one room for every 4, that's pretty good value. Right, we'll go and have a look outside. The grounds are really well kept and maintained. Here you see the top of the open roof lights above all the corridors. Bedrooms create this large terrace. Also there's lots of sun loungers around. There is a nice pool, not huge for the size of the hotel, but I expect most guests go down to the beach, which is only about 1 minute's walk away. Another great thing about this place is you're not captive. Some of the hotels we've been to, there aren't any other restaurants or bars around, so you have to use the facilities. Where here, you're within 10 minutes walk from lots of bars and restaurants, so lots of choices, lots of different budgets, so you don't feel you have to go and eat in the restaurant. Now the design's good. All the rooms at the front here look out across the sea, and there's another row of double rooms behind which do the same. I think this is a superior room, and I believe all the superior rooms and the junior suites have this front view. I'm not sure whether any of the standard rooms do. We had a standard room a while ago, and it was around a courtyard at the back. Still a nice room, and you could walk out around the courtyard. We have stayed here, I can't remember how many times, 3 or 4 times we've stayed here in the past during the buying process of when we were buying the house. But I don't think we've ever stayed here when the weather's been this nice. I think it's always been in the winter. But yes, it is a good place to come. I did take a video of entering the hotel when we arrived in the daylight, but I chose instead to show it at night. It looks quite smart, and this wall of lights above the door is impressive. The whole layout with the water feature is quite atmospheric. The whole grounds at night were also really lovely, very cleverly lit to create a peaceful atmosphere. We found the outside lounge and used our drinks vouchers for a couple of glasses of wine and settled in to enjoy a very pleasant evening. Walking around the next morning, we can show you the 2 paddle courts it has and this lovely garden at the front. We didn't eat in the restaurant this time, and I wasn't able to gain access to film it or the cafe below, so I've included some images I found. We spent a nice evening here. Enjoyed sitting out in the garden, looking out to sea. This would be a good place to come if you just come to Mojacar for the first time, maybe come for 2 or 3 nights. Well worth staying here. Seems a lot quieter than the big tourist hotels. Probably a little bit more sophisticated. It's not fancy, it's not really plush, but it's got a really nice atmosphere, nice furnishings, nice surroundings, Lots of palm trees. Great location. What's not to like? A lovely view down on Mojacar Playa. Like a lot of Spanish towns, Mojacar put this coastal walkway in. We refer to it as the Prom. I think the Spanish call it El Paseo. I think it's a great facility. I know people who've been here for many years don't like it because it's changed the feel of the place. But it's somewhere you can easily come down for a walk. It's 2.5 kilometres from one end to the other. Nice 5k run then. There's a running group which run down here. For me, it's great. There are lots of bars and restaurants along the Prom, just passing Ankara, well known for live music on weekend afternoons. Next at Antonellas, or Antonellas, never sure, one of the best terraces in Mojacar for sitting out and taking in the view whilst enjoying a plate of pasta. We then come across this whole run of bars and restaurants, offering lots of choices and different budgets. The Lure is a favourite, really good food and great atmosphere. Often we'll have live music at the weekends. Next is Isla Blanca, also has a nice terrace for a drink. The last place to show you is Tito's, one of the first chiringuitos or beach bars in Mojacar. We came here on the first night of our first visit to Mojacar, and has been a favourite ever since. Great food, great staff, atmosphere and music on a summer Sunday afternoon. No trip to Mojacar should be complete without visiting the old village, or the pueblo as it's known. Unfortunately, the road's closed into the village, so we have to go round the back. Hopefully we can park in the small car park here on our left. If not, we'll have to go back down. Room for a small one. Mojacar makes some claim that Walt Disney was born here. I don't think it's ever been proven, but I think they like to run with it. This is a great facility, saves you having to walk up the hill. Going up. Looking back on where we parked down there, the Walt Disney mural. Go down here. incredible heavy rock just carved out here. This small square is known as the Plaza Nueva, the new plaza. It has this raised platform where you can look out over the valley below. Fantastic views. There are lots of pretty narrow streets to explore. This is one of the old gates to the village. I'm sure the building in front with blue doors was once the Sahara Bar. Many a lost evening spent in there in our youth. There is this lovely courtyard next to the church, lots of plants around, known as the Plaza de Parterre. We then go to this other square, the fairly modern Plaza del Fronton. We then walk round to the front of the church, the Iglesia de Santa Maria. Not sure the relevance of the dinosaur here. There are a few of these statues around representing the Mojacan woman, las Mojaqueras, who would carry the water from the spring at the bottom of the village to their homes. Quite surprised how busy it is today here. Lots of tourists. There's lots of touristy shops here in the village. I'm a bit cynical these days about how much is locally made and how much comes from the Far East. I guess this is the same everywhere you go now. This tiled picture shows the fountain at the bottom of the village where you can still collect drinking water today. This is a nice shop. They do sell some genuine Spanish pottery and artefacts. We've bought a few nice things from here. La Vuelta de las Golondrinas, the flight of the swallows. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We hope to do 1 or 2 more Paradors before the end of the year. So if you'd like to see those, please like, subscribe and share. Thanks again.